After the insane success of the original Moto G last year, Motorola's back with, well, they're still calling it a Moto G. So, what's new with this second generation Moto G? Does it offer enough to warrant your attention? If you already do own a first generation Moto G, is this a phone worth upgrading to? Well, these are the questions I'm going to try to answer in this video. So if this is your first time here, or well, if it isn't, you know how this goes. My name's Ash, this is C4E Tech, and you're watching my full review of the second generation Moto G. Let's get started. This Moto G carries over the same design language from the original. It's still got the same curved back, it's about 0.6mm slimmer. We still have the Motorola dimple on the back, and for some reason I really like it. To the front, on top, we have a earpiece that's also a speaker and a 2-megapixel front-facing camera this time around. Below that, the sensors, and then we have a Corning Gorilla Glass 3 covered IPS LCD display. At the bottom, we have another speaker with a mic inside. To the back, we have an 8-megapixel camera, LED flash, and the Motorola logo. The back is user removable, and inside we find two micro SIM card slots and a micro SD card slot. That's a welcome addition given that the Moto G comes with just 8 or 16 gigs of onboard storage. Just like the last time, Motorola will be selling swappable back covers for this Moto G as well. Now on top we have a 3.5mm headphone jack and the secondary noise cancelling microphone, the volume rockers and the power button to the right, micro USB port at the bottom, and nothing to the left. Yes, the bigger display and the stereo speakers do make this Moto G bigger than its predecessor, but it's still pretty light. The soft touch back helps get a good grip. The curved design helps hide the 11mm thickness, and the Moto G continues to feel comfortable in hand. Single-handed usage still remains an option. Talking about the display, the Gorilla Glass 3 covered 5-inch IPS LCD display on this Moto G gives it a pixel density of 294 pixels per inch. While that's lower than that of its predecessor, the display is still bright, sharp enough, colors are natural, viewing angles are good, it even holds up pretty well under direct sunlight. Moving on, underneath the hood, this Moto G is still powered by the Snapdragon 400 chipset. It's the same 4 Cortex-A7 cores clocked at 1.2 GHz each, coupled with an Adreno 305 GPU and 1 GB of RAM. No difference in clock speeds here. Snapdragon 400 performs decently in synthetic benchmarks, and when it comes to real day-to-day usage scenarios like gaming, Adreno 305 does hold its own. It can even run some intensive games. For the most part, gameplay was smooth with only the occasional lag or frame rate drop. The audio via the front-facing speakers was good. Not HTC One levels of good, but good enough. All this is powered by a 2070 mAh non-user replaceable battery, and the battery life is decent. While it can get you through a day of moderate usage on a single charge, it's just not as easy as it was last year with the first generation Moto G. To put that into numbers, on our looping video playback tests, this Moto G lasted only about 6.5 hours before running out of juice. That's about a good half hour lesser than last year's Moto G. This is largely due to the fact that we now have a bigger display that's drawing more power while the battery capacity has remained unchanged. Next up, we get to what I feel was the Moto G's weakest link last year: camera. And as expected, Motorola has upgraded it this time around. The 8-megapixel rear camera can shoot much better pictures now. Autofocus works, images have acceptable levels of detail, color reproduction is quite natural, noise is also lower. This was a much needed upgrade. Note that though the camera can only shoot 720p videos, the quality is quite good. The camera UI is similar to what we've seen on other Motorola devices. You have a dial to the left that lists the options that you can choose. Pretty simplistic and easy to use. Note that the shutter speed's a little slow though. Talking about software, the second generation Moto G runs on the latest Android 4.4 KitKat, with the promise of being updated to Android L as and when it's available. Barring a few apps, Motorola's left the UI largely untouched. For example, the Motorola Assist app that lets you alert preset contacts in case of an emergency, or the Assist app that automates actions. For example, if you're in a meeting, it will turn your ringer off while being smart enough to let important calls through. Say if you're driving, it would read out your messages and so on. Then we have the Migrate app, which as the name implies, helps you transfer data over from your old phone. These apps are actually useful and add value rather than being manufacturer bloat that's just there for the sake of it. Another thing worth noting is that Motorola has got these apps on the Play Store now. This means that they don't have to push out firmware updates to update these apps. They could just roll out individual app updates via the Play Store. Good stuff. Now barring that, it's stock Android the way Google meant it to be. And as expected, everything's fast and smooth. Apps open up quick without a lot of lag. And now we get to the price. The Moto G still sports the same $179 price tag, or that's 12,999 rupees here in India. That still remains a great price. It offers good value for your money. So let's sum it up then. In the pros column, we've got a solid build, decent display, stellar specs for the price, great audio, acceptable battery life, better cameras this time around, stock Android with a guaranteed update, and price. Under cons, well, we have the fact that it's nothing new. Let me explain. The second generation Moto G feels like a year-old phone with a fresh coat of paint on it. It's not a phone that anyone who's already got a first generation Moto G should be upgrading to. While yes, microSD card support and the upgraded cameras are great, the larger display does come at a cost. The cost being a lower pixel density, an overall larger footprint, and battery life that's not quite as good as its predecessors. So this means that you'd have to look at both these phones as equals, as options. Say for example, you want a smaller phone with a better battery life, go with the first generation Moto G. If instead you want a larger display, better cameras and microSD support, go with Gen 2. I really wish Motorola had added a higher capacity battery here, because in my honest opinion, I feel battery life definitely would have factored into Motorola's decision to not go with a higher clock Snapdragon MSM 8228 chip. This chip has all 4 cores clocked 400 MHz higher. Anyway, none of this really changes the fact that the second generation Moto G still offers a great bang for your buck, and it still remains the best off-contract option in the market today. No, that's a different video. We'll get to that in the next video. So anyway, if you do want to pick a Moto G up internationally, you can do that from Amazon, or if you are from India, you can pick one up from Flipkart. And before you do that, you can sign up with GoPaisa.com. GoPaisa is India's highest paying cashback site and helps you get the best deals, be it cashback or coupons. Just sign up with GoPaisa.com, find the store you want. They have a huge list of over 300 stores including Flipkart, Snapdeal and eBay. Head on over to the site, shop. The retailer provides GoPaisa commission and GoPaisa provides you cashback. You can use this cashback to recharge your phone or DTH or just transfer it to your bank. Anyway, I'll leave a link to GoPaisa.com in the description below, and since they are sponsoring this video, do let them know that we sent you by signing up at the URL www.gopaisa.com/ref/c4etech. So with that, I guess we get to the end of this review. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up. And for more videos like this, do stay subscribed. If you do have any feedback or any video requests for me, please do let me know. You can hit me up on Facebook, Twitter or Google+. The direct links to all my social networks can be found right below that like button in the description. So once again, thanks a lot for watching guys. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4etech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.